So here we are. The front coilover is just sitting with a bolt here, kind of holding it on. I just wanted to get it located in the upper A-arm and make sure the full 2.5-inch spring would fit through the A-arm, which it does. There's no clearance issues. And this is the back coilover. I just threw it in here to see if this would fit, and that way I got my measurement from the frame rail to the top. And what I'm basically going to do is, if you've ever looked at supercar, V8 supercars from Australia, the chassis, they have a similar, it's a lot bigger piece, and obviously the cars are way bigger, but they have almost this shock tower that comes up off a frame rail up front and then ties into your door bars back here, and that's ultimately what I'm going for. So, not that I haven't been getting anything done, I just haven't been filming a lot. Screwing around with other stuff. The Ford gave me headaches for about a month, and I finally got that figured out. And what else? I think I did the A-pillar bars in the last video, but now you can see the windshield bars in, the dash bars in, the door bars are in. And yeah, I think I have one more piece, and then I have to go buy more steel. So that's where it's at right now. I got the, this is a mess, but everything's done. The sending unit, I just welded the sending unit to the fuel pump pickup, their fuel pump mount. I need to go get this dropped off, get it powder coated, get it back together, build my mount to hold the fuel filter down here, and then get the fuel lines up to the front of the cab. And order the coilovers for the front, because I know my well, I know my dimensions. I just have to cycle the suspension a little bit and figure out how much travel they're gonna have. And no, the BBSs are not for the truck, at least not for this truck. They're for the Ford when I put that axle in it. This thing's all 355 gears. It's got a Ford track lock in it, just, you know, because it was cheap and clutch packs look good. So that's all together, shimmed, backlash is set, everything's good with that. It just has to go in the truck. And yeah, this is where the Nissan is. So as soon as I kind of come up with a design for those shock towers, I can start tying those front bars in, order the coilovers, and then get this thing actually sitting on suspension again. And once that's done, that's pretty much the last thing, other than taking this cab off one more time. This whole piece has to be cut out because of the new Supra front subframe that lifted the engine up a little bit and got it in contact with the cowl, the lower part of the cowl. And yeah, then everything can slowly start going back together. I still don't really have wheels for this, other than the, you know, these guys that are going on the back. So I keep my eye out looking for something. I'll eventually find it. But yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else right now. Oh, there might be. I picked up a 3D printer. So yeah, that was that's been taking a little bit of time too, designing stuff, but I wanted a small switch panel for the truck that mounts to the roll cage, and this is it. Got the start switch, don't want a button. And it also has a built-in voltmeter that's going to be here on the side. So yeah, these are just, I think these things are like $2 or $3. So save yourself money on a buying a voltmeter gauge when you can just get that and wire it right in and see what you got. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, here it is. It's an Ender 3 Pro. Super awesome if you're just looking to get into 3D printing and see if you like it or not. Because yeah, you can get a 3D printer and you can download things off Thingiverse, but you can't really, you have to learn a program to design your own stuff. You know, you can look for stuff, but obviously a lot of times it won't be exactly what you're looking for. You want to tweak it. It's really hard to tweak files that have already been sliced up, and that's basically what's all over, like all these STL files you find that are all over the internet. They're all sliced up and you can't really go back in and edit those. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So yeah, this thing's been great. It's never given me any problems yet, other than stuff that I've purposely caused, but it's a very good base model. With everything all said and done, you're probably under like $400 for everything. I'm talking about buying different filaments and extra parts and things you need just to get it to work right. But it's really awesome for prototyping stuff too. So yeah, I went ahead and made an adapter for the mass airflow on the Ford. And basically what this did is eliminate the air box, and I can put a K&N filter right on the end of this. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. This is PETG, so, and it's basically plastic bonded to this was the actual mass airflow piece that was on, or this was the actual inlet, or yeah, I guess you would call it the inlet on the air box, and I cut it off, took some measurements, and then built this guy with a like a Venturi going in, and yeah, just eliminate the airbox to give me a little more room in here, because I also pulled out all the inner fenders on the Ford to start moving wiring harnesses and getting shit out of the way, because when I lowered this truck down a little bit more, the inner fender wells, the Crown Vic inner fender wells, were not gonna play nice with wheels and tires up front. And the next thing to do is relocate the battery in the back, fix that harness over there, and mount the fuse box, because yeah, there's a lot of stuff over there that's got to get rerouted and moved around. But yeah, the truck's running again. Took me 3 weeks of screwing with it, and yeah, it turns out it was a stupid connector and a stupid steering shaft that were causing the problems. It's awesome, because I literally went through every piece of wire, relay, fuse, everything, and watched 100 videos on YouTube of guys diagnosing things with these, and I didn't realize they had a fuel pump driver module, so I tested fuel pump voltage and I had it and it wasn't pumping fuel, so I said, sweet, I'm gonna put a fuel pump in it, and I did that, and then it did the same thing, and then it was just, yeah, after that, and big don't really call it a waste of time, because it was ultimately a learning experience. So if anything ever goes wrong again, I could probably fix it. It's just learning new things, new electronic things, like these newfangled cars and their fuel pressure sensors that send out pulse width modulation to the fuel pump to control fuel pressure, versus the old school where you bang 14 volts to it from the battery and then regulate it with a regulator. They don't do that anymore, so it extends the life of the fuel pump. That's great. I'd rather replace it every 5 or 6 years. But yeah, that's another video for this thing. Also, if you know anybody with an S14 rear subframe that they're going to put into a truck that's in their S14 whatever, these are Peak Performance version 1 tow rods for an S14. I have no use for them anymore. I figured I'd throw it out there. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if you're interested.